everyone, Eric Watson here, freelance writer, player of games, writer for recorder videos, and tabletop role-playing aficionado. Welcome to Patreon D&D, where our platinum-level patrons and I get together to play Dungeons & Dragons via Discord and Roll20. These patron games are not live-streamed, but are recorded for your viewing pleasure. You can join our official Discord server with invite link in the description below if you would like to support the channel and possibly join these patron games. Check out patreon.com/RogueWatson. Our music is by Kevin MacLeod, and our amazing original character art was done by Demnix, including this very cool new splash page that I can't quite completely fit on my screen, but it looks awesome. I think I have been... Actually, I was going to say what's happened to me, but you probably don't know this character, but perhaps you will. But you can see all of our various characters in a very cool, like, I don't know, like movie poster format with all the like heads and stuff. Awesome work. This is session number 2 of our Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen campaign, published by Wizards of the Coast. For this session, I am joined by patrons Brandon playing Cere, the dwarf cleric.
Hey there.
CT playing Pi, the gnome ranger.
How's it going?
And Wrangler, a fish wrangler. Dory playing Ellowyn, the kender bard.
Hello.
Genocider playing Korl, the dwarf bard.
Hello.
And Morgan playing Kazra, the human fighter.
Hello.
Previously on Shadow of the Dragon Queen, our heroes arrive in the charming village of Vogler, where they meet Becklin, Knight of Solamnia, Castellan of Thornwall Keep, and former adventuring companion of Ispin Greenshield. Having grown up in Vogler, Elias helps introduce everyone, and Becklin thanks them for journeying here to attend the funeral. At the funeral, everyone says a few words about the beloved adventurer. The party meets Cudgel, another adventuring companion of Ispin's, who has brought her whole mercenary company. The party tussles with Bakaris, a bratty noble, and encounters a mysterious, ghostly elven woman with a dire warning. The next day, Becklin offers the party Ispin's magic shield in exchange for participating in the Battle of High Hill reenactment, which celebrates the town's founding as part of the Kingfisher Festival. Pi eagerly accepts the shield, then goes on to reel in the famed man-sized carp of the river during the fishing competition. The town then gathers for a parade and arrives at the site of the battle, where Cudgel's forces have lined up to mock battle the militia, with everyone wielding padded weapons. The party joins the side of the militia, and the two sides charge. As they clash, however, laughter turns to screaming. Many of the ironclad regiment are wielding real weapons and slaughtering the townsfolk, and a burly half-ogre buries his axe into Cudgel's back. The mock battle has become very real, which means we are actually going to start with combat, our first combat of D&D 2024 and of this campaign. And I am trying to find, there it is, the initiative tracker. So let's have everybody roll for initiative. Can everybody see? And you might have to click on your tokens. You guys are in the upper right corner here. That's daytime. You do have Darrett with you. If you recall, which I unfortunately neglected to mention him in the recap, but he is a friend of Elias's. He's basically a squire of Becklin's, and he is eager to follow in her footsteps, definitely wants to be a knight, and is basically with all of you for the purposes of this particular battle. All of you, by the way, are wielding padded spears, but nobody necessarily confiscated your weapons or anything, so you certainly probably have those still on you. You were expected to wield, you know, these kind of fake cosplay weapons for the purposes of this battle, but clearly that's not what's going on right now. All right, there's Darrett. Your immediate problem, you can see there are a number of bodies littering the area already, and you've got some folks bearing down on you. It looks like a trio of armed mercenary forces down here, all on horseback, have turned their attention to you. Let's see if group initiative. Okay, good. That one works. Boy, those are some fantabulous initiative rolls.
Oof.
For the mercs. Yeah, they got the drop. There was no surprise thing here, which again, surprise in D&D 24 is just disadvantage on initiative. So let's go to descending right here. And then if you notice, the you're not surrounded by flames or anything necessarily, but what this does represent is basically the ongoing battle around you. And you can tell that if you were to step foot in any of these areas, you would find yourself in immediate danger of just quickly being attacked or overrun or something happening that would be bad. So you're sort of in a bit of a clear space here. Let's see, I need to do one more thing, which is add a reminder. Let's add that to the end. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. You know what I never set up was battle music. How embarrassing. I have tavern music, I have break music, and everything. I should remember the battle music I used last time. So we're going to start with the number 20 Mercenary down here. So I don't have my fancy custom macro here. I didn't even try to see that if that worked in the new one or not. But it does tell me who is who because it highlights them, at least on my end. So mounted combat means that the horse can act during the same turn as the mercenary, and the horse can only take the dash, disengage, or dodge actions. But it also has a base speed of 60. So I don't know if it will necessarily need to dodge here, or dash, I should say. Yeah, because it can close right in. And I think I did get Token Fate to work. So let's actually take our frontline people here. Oh, not the NPC, not the sweet NPC. So this rider, can I grab both of them? Yeah, is going to charge at Darrett, and we're gonna have the horse actually take the disengage action. So it's gonna use its base movement to charge all the way up here, and the mercenary will then stab downward with a spear.
Kazra is going to use her protection fighting style to impose disadvantage on that. Let me pull up that ability. Where is that? Protection. There we go.
Creature you see within 5 feet of you, take a reaction to impose your shield. If you're holding one, you impose disadvantage and trigger attack roll and other attack rolls against the target. Okay, excellent. So you can bring up your shield and try to help deflect the blow, which is pretty good because Darrett here is not wearing full armor. He's not earned his full Solomnic plate yet, so I'll just roll this again. Okay, an 11 will miss. So you actually bring that shield up. Derek looks like he's kind of ready to try to take it on, but you know without his armor that was going to stab into him. But you managed to deflect the blow with your shield. And then taking the disengage action with the horse, he'll kind of do like a drive-by attack, basically. But because they were already pretty far, he's not going to get too much further on that. Next up is Pie.
All right. Now, if I'm attacking him with my short sword and he's up on a horse, does that have an effect where I can...
I don't think it does anything mechanically in combat. Oops, not the feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all in reach. And it even gets really funkier when it looks at the roll 20, because technically he can be in any of these 4 quadrants and all of them at once. It's like Schrodinger's mounted combat or something. So yeah,
so he's within range and not within range at the same time.
Right. Yes. The paradox. But yeah, you can definitely target him.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, the main rule is if I could say he could target you, then you could target him, and he would definitely be able to target anybody on any side of his force. So.
Okay, I would like to use one of my luck points to give myself advantage because I'm enraged. Seeing him kill the person, I cannot remember their name.
Yeah, so something you do notice at the edge of the battlefield here, some of you probably spotted the dwarf who was or is, I should say, part of the adventuring group of Becklin and Ispin. She was there at the funeral, helps lower his body in there, And she had mentioned that she had formed this mercenary company and was the leader. And then she had been hired to basically, while she was in town, the mayor was like, "Hey, can your forces come up against my militia?" And then you all saw at the end of the last session, she was leading the charge, but then she took an axe in the back. You don't know currently, without getting close, what her fate is, but you do spot her body kind of in the fray at the edge beyond the other forces.
Okay. But seeing that, I would like to do that. And Hunter's Mark, is that a bonus action?
Possibly.
It is.
Yeah, this is where we all get to learn about D&D 2024. They made Hunter's Mark a big thing for Rangers.
Okay, I'm going to put Hunter's Mark on that dude.
I know the new sheet should organize everything by actions, reactions, bonus actions, and all that. You may have to click on a different tab. And I don't know if I click on that, if it changes it for you all, so I don't want to do that.
Oh, that's
Alright, so that means I can do an extra 1d6 after this attack, which I'm doing with advantage, spending a luck point.
Okay.
Short sword. Here we go. Does a 22 hit?
I would. Oh, how cool! It has the little Vex button on there. Okay. If that works. I always think things are cool, and then roll 20 often disappoints me, but. Right, because one thing we all forgot about, and well, all forgot about it, but during character creation of session 0, I forgot to ask everybody what their weapon masteries were. I did ask all of you after the fact, but something I had forgotten during session 0 was that weapon mastery is a thing in the new edition.
Yeah, so do I hit damage or Vex? Or both?
I think you always hit... See, I don't know what hitting... Yeah, it depends on what Vex is, I guess. Most of them aren't dice rolls, I thought. Yeah, it probably just reminds you what it is. If you hit a creature with this weapon to deal damage, you have advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of your next turn. So I guess before extra attack or an offhand attack, that doesn't do much good.
Yeah. Okay,
but
so
8 damage
plus a
is
d6.
max damage. Yeah.
Plus a d6.
Plus Hunter's Mark. Minimum damage.
plus 1.
But 9 is a hell of a blow. Are you actually stepping, because it's a short sword, are you stepping up to attack him in melee?
Oh, did he move away? He was
move away, yeah. The horse did a disengage action, so he could move around with his horse.
Oh, yeah.
So you basically, so cinematically comes up as a drive-by, tries to stab Darrett, Kazra deflects the blow, and then you basically run after while he's still trying to turn the horse and stab him very well.
Yep.
He is still up, but he took a nasty gash from that attack.
Okay, that's my turn.
All right, Kazra.
Okay, I have a quick question. Does Vex give only you advantage on it, or like anyone advantage?
I think it's only the wielder, because it does say you have advantage on your next attack roll.
Yeah, okay. Just a math thing.
And Kazra is going to look around the battlefield and then turn to Korl and say, "Okay, Korl, you've taken out a kraken before, so what should I do?"
Just stay close to me and you'll be all right. But
okay, I will.
Kill that one first.
Which one are you pointing to?
The one that Pi just attacked.
You got it. So she kind of moves up to here, and she takes out her warhammer. And let's see if this works. Let's see. One-handed.
Yes.
Nice.
+7, my goodness.
Okay. And she's going to use the push on him too.
Okay.
So can I knock him off the horse if I knock him 10 feet directly in a line?
There is a specific rule. Let's see. Come on, roll 20. There we go. If an effect is about to move your mount against its will while you're on it, you must succeed on a dex save or fall off. When mounted, you must make the save if you are knocked prone or the mount is. So weirdly, it doesn't say anything about being pushed. It only says if your mount is about to be moved against its will, or if you're knocked prone or the mount is. But I'm gonna go ahead and rule as a DM that, like, yeah, that would have the same effect if you push somebody. I don't know why the rules specifically only mention moving the mount against its will, or if you're knocked prone or the mount is. There's only 3 conditions in which you could possibly fall off. But it makes sense that if you're moved against your will. Yeah, and so is there normally a save with push, I guess is my question?
I don't think so.
Okay, you can just push the creature up to him. This whole conversation is going to be moot anyway, because 12 damage is absolutely massive. So you literally just ragdoll this guy. You come up with the Warhammer and just crack him up the head, and he just flies up and down right off the horse.
Can I do non-lethal damage, or is that not possible?
You could. Sorry, yeah. I described it very painfully, but if it's like a martial arts movie or superhero movie, then it's probably non-lethal somehow.
Yeah, she's gonna knock him off the horse, and then say, "Okay, I took out one of them." And then she's going to pat the horse on the face and say, "Good horsey," and take a step back.
Yeah, the horse does not appear
and kind of get
evil or anything. It's just a horse.
That is the rest of her turn.
Okay, one mark is down. Another one is still interested in charging at you all, and we've got kind of 3 of you in a line here. All right, Pi is out front. So this one, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This one will also take the disengage action, so it will charge at Pi, attempt to attack you. Ooh, an 18 to hit. What's that green shield for you? Really?
Puts me to a 19.
Oh, snap. You put up the new shield.
Whoa.
Damn, a 19 AC level 2. You love to see it.
Like to remind the DM that we are level 2.
Oh, wait.
Shut up, Chris. Get out of here. The ghost of Chris haunts me. All right. You can see he's shocked by that too, and this green shield, you might think, even has a bit of a infamy with a lot of folks. You might not be the only one who recognizes the celebrity status of it. So you bring that up, and it deflects the guard, and he ends up again doing the kind of drive-by sequence after attempting to stab you. Darrett is very worried about what's going on right now, and he's yelling out like, why are they doing this? What's going on? And he only has his padded weapon, so he will run over to the downed soldier and actually like take their weapon. So he is, even though he's very worried, he is still, the adrenaline is pumping through him, and he sees basically picking up what you all are doing. And defending and taking these guys out. So he picks up the weapon, but that is going to be his full action. He will pull back near Pi and just kind of ready it and look around and says, I'll follow your lead.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah, and then we've got this mercenary. Let's see who he's going to go after is Kazra. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. We can make it to here. We'll attempt to stat. I don't know if I can roll much better. I can roll very much worse, though. This time, the horse kind of leaps over this wall, and the dude just kind of like chunks forward and almost drops his spear. You barely don't even have to do anything, Kazra, to avoid getting hit. And then he grumbles, and he directs his horse this way. Actually, can make it pretty far. We'll go to here. Get these bodies out of here. All right, Ellowyn.
Okay, so This one's alive, and this one's alive, right? Okay. So I imagine that when we were kind of entering into this arena, in Ellow's mind, she was more going to be documenting and less actively participating, even though it was going to be fake combat. So, she's always got her quill and book at the ready, and she's just kind of ready to observe as she sees the ogre bury the axe in Cudgel's back across the battlefield. She's gonna kind of like point out with her quill and just yell, "No!" And as she does, she's gonna just follow that up with, "Your story isn't over. Get up!" And just without even realizing what's about to happen, a little bit of spark and fire, I think, comes off of the edge of her quill, and she ends up casting Healing Word across the battlefield at Cudgel.
This is like your mutant power is like unleashing during a stressful moment or something. I love it.
Okay, wait, okay, so cast. Okay, so she gets 10 healing.
Wow. Okay. This has a very startling effect on everybody, and all of you around her. Let's see, who witnessed their gods? It was Cere, for sure, and Korl, I believe. Yep. So the two of you would kind of sort of know what's going on, but you also haven't necessarily seen it happen yet, where somebody actually manifested divine magic. Pi and Kazra, this would be miraculous to you. This is unheard of. You've heard of wizards. You've probably, depending on how traveled you are, you may have never seen magic or seen a wizard, but you know they exist and you know magic is possible. But divine magic has certainly never happened in hundreds of years, and healing magic is included in that. So this would be an absolutely astonishing moment. And the guards kind of react similarly, where they look very wide-eyed and looking around like, who the fuck are these people? And you do see Ellowyn, Cudgel begin to stir ever so slightly. And it looks like your healing magic may have saved her life, but she is badly injured, but she is stirring back to consciousness.
I think my reaction to that would be Ella would kind of tilt her head a little bit and go, huh, what? That's never happened before.
Yeah.
And after she kind of gets her wits about her, I think I can do this. Can I also cast Vicious Mockery if Healing Word is a bonus action?
Yes. I think the only rule is
because it's a cantrip, right?
Right,
okay.
Yeah, not more than one leveled spell slot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Healing Word's a bonus action.
Okay, so
yeah, notice, by the way, sorry to interrupt, they buffed all the healing across the board in D&D 2024. I think all healing spells are twice as good. Because people were complaining that like healing is not even though we like to RP it, like it's not the most effective and efficient thing to do in combat versus just defeating the enemy. So I think they're just like, fuck it, twice as good healing then. So that's why this healing is that. I mean, for a healing word, that's amazingly high, but that's D&D 2024's balancing in action.
Yeah, that's why I was shocked when it said 10 for Healing Word, because usually that's like
it's 2d4 instead of 1d4, and then same thing with Cure Wounds, I believe, is another is twice as good, and then still scales.
Yeah, so I think after she sees that across the battlefield, and she's not really sure why Cudgel is moving. She notices that rider came in and attacked and then kind of like veered off away from everyone. And as she sees that rider veering off, she'll say, "Oh, what An amazing strategy. Attacking unarmed villagers. That's a bold strategy. Intelligence isn't your strong suit, is it? And as she's kind of shouting at this rider, she will cast Vicious Mockery at him. And it's a wisdom save, DC 14.
Oh, he's taking that damage.
It's 5 psychic damage.
Disadvantage on the next attack roll, if he lives that long. That does do a pretty good amount of damage.
And Ella will stay right where she's at.
All right, Cere.
So Cere is focused on Cudgel as soon as she saw the axe go into her back and was concerned because Cudgel's a dwarf, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Cere watches Ellowyn shoot something out of her quill, essentially, in the moment. And so Cere had been injured a long time ago and has like an old-fashioned splint on her right leg. It's like a leather strap tied to like a wooden beam or something that doesn't let her move her leg very well. So when she runs and hobbles, it's like that hobble step type thing, especially when she's trying to move quickly. She's capable of it, and she's gotten accustomed to it. So she can still have like her movement in general. But what she does immediately is after Ellowyn does it, she says, "My stars and garters," and she just immediately takes off across the field. Is it difficult terrain here through the tree, or could I get past the tree pretty easily?
The tree is okay. Yeah, you can get through the tree.
Okay. I don't know if you can see where I'm trying to get to or if I have to let go, but that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So I use my action to dash immediately to Cudgel as she's still on the ground. And I'm doing that like hobble run step with like a half a straight leg, basically. And I bend down and I say, Cudgel, please come back to us. And that's going to be my turn. I'm just going to help her get up, basically, is what I'm trying to do.
Okay. As you do that, and you enter literally what you noticed, well, maybe you didn't notice. You said you were laser focused on her, but as you're reaching down to like help her, yeah, you enter the fray, and literally there's just fighting going on all around you of just clashing combatants. And I'm gonna ask you to give me a dexterity saving throw to try to avoid whether it's friendly fire or arrows or somebody just stepping on your hand or something. It's pretty good, but not quite good enough with a -3. Ouch. That's almost as best as you could roll. I need you to roll 2d6 for me.
So Cere running like a young Forrest Gump with the braces?
With the braces, yeah.
Running kind of, yeah.
You take 10 damage.
Okay.
But on the plus side, even though you did dash, I will let you, because she's also kind of becoming more conscious and nodding at you and accepting your help, you can both pull her and you slightly out of danger, because you kind of shield your body like from protect and help protect her as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But now you're looking kind of worse for wear in the process.
Cere is fine with that because her whole focus right now is on Cudgel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you have because Ellowyn brought her back to consciousness, it was a lot easier for you to be able to like jostle her and pull her out of the most immediate danger.
That's my turn.
All right, Korl.
All right. After seeing what Kazra did with the shield thing, I'm gonna go ahead and hide behind her.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah. Say, good job. And I'm gonna give her bardic inspiration. Where is it? And then for my action, which one did Ello zap? Was it 1 or 2?
Number 1 over here. I think. Is that right?
I'm gonna.
I'm muted. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna yell at number 2. Say, drop it! Drop it! Cast command on him.
Oh, okay. Another wisdom save for this guy. Let's see if he can hang on to his weapon. No, he is still not very wise. So he has been commanded to drop his weapon.
Yeah.
Which is not easy for him to pick up because he's on a horse.
And that's it for me.
All right, at the end of the round, the DM gets to roll on this table. On the High Hill Battlefield Events table, a wounded mercenary guard appears in an unoccupied space adjacent to the fray nearest a random mercenary on the battlefield and rolls initiative. So, let's roll a 1d2 and determine if they spawn near number 1 or number 2. Number 1 gets a new mercenary to trot in right where the guy's spear was dropped. Just ends up getting kind of pushed into the fray or whatever else, or maybe just spots an opportunity to hunt some more folks who perhaps at first glance look like militia, but on closer inspection, you all are way more heavily armed. And roll initiative for them.
Which one doesn't have a weapon anymore?
Number 1 no longer has a weapon. So we'll make you number 3. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I commanded number 2.
You want to okay, the one that was not attacked by.
Yeah, because I think number 1 has disadvantage. And also, he doesn't do it until his next turn.
Okay. Let's see if this works without spoiling things. Okay, so you said number 2 is the one that doesn't have a weapon?
Yeah.
Alright. It's a good icon for that. You have broken shield. Alright, top of the initiative is Pi, because this one is dead, so we get rid of that one.
Okay. Would like to come down towards the other one, and as I'm passing this horse, I kind of just like pat it so it kind of like goes away. It gets out of the
yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, it goes towards like safety, so he's not like, or she is not
hard to tell
impacted by the rest of.
Yeah.
Like I mean horses. These things are giants to me. I guess I have the best.
They're giants
view.
to me. My sister owns a horse. This is my Texan thing. My sister owns a horse, and I'm around horses, and I think horses are terrifying. I am the opposite of a horse girl. Like, they are very, very large. You know, you see them all the time on movies and shit, but like, if you see a fucking horse, like, it is giant. Fucking my sister's horse. She is I forgot that it's the Lord of the Rings Nazgul horses, the big black ones. Really cool horse, but it is fucking gigantic. I'm just like, anyway, yes, horses are.
I mean, I have Great Danes, and they're kind of like horses to other people. So, so I come up. I'm going to bonus action move my hunter's mark to this guy.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack him. Does anything give me advantage? No, right? My previous Vex thing was for the other character, but he's dead now. So
yeah, I don't think we have anything else.
I think that. I just didn't know if Korl's. All right, here goes the attack. 20.
Jeez, Louise, you guys are nailing these rolls.
For 7 plus d6, 4.
Oh my
so 11.
Ooh, you almost think you just deliver a killing blow. He is bleeding profusely, and eyes go wide as you're able to, despite your diminutive state, somehow just do a jump attack slash on this dude on the horde. Maybe he's riding more of a pony. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and that's my turn.
All right, Kazra.
Okay, seeing that Pi looks like he's kind of got that guy handled, Kazra's gonna yell back to Darrett and say, "Okay, kid, kind of follow me. I'm gonna go over here and see what I can do to help with these two." And she's meant to go up there.
Yeah, he nods.
And
Oh,
I think
okay.
that 30. Yeah, that is, let's see, 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yep, there's 30. And when she gets up there, she is going to again take a swing at the guy on the horse. Let's see. And there it is. Ooh, does that hit?
14 actually does not hit. These
Dang
guys
it.
are wearing armor.
You have bardic
She is
inspiration.
going to go, dang it, I can't believe I missed. Okay, well, someone else hit this guy. And she's going to just kind of take a good defensive position right here.
I did give you bardic inspiration.
Oh, Bardic Inspiration. Oh, yeah, what can
It's
I
a
roll?
D6.
That's a D6?
Yep.
Okay. Does an 18 hit?
18 does hit.
Okay, then with the Bardic Inspiration, she goes, "Thanks for the tips, Korl." And boom. 11 damage.
All right, would you like to do another non-lethal takedown on this one?
Oh, yeah, just knock him completely off the horse, knock him out cold.
Tonk. 2 for 2 on the knockouts.
Oh, and that's the end of my turn.
All right, we've got this one who has dropped a weapon. So he is going to use his horse.
So on this turn, he drops his weapon and then ends his turn.
Oh, show me the command spell, because it didn't show the actual paragraph of what it did. Do you have a way to share the description? Do I need to look it up?
It details.
No, details
Just
doesn't
details.
say what it does.
It just gives a rundown of the like school and casting time and stuff, not the actual.
Yeah, it's in the chat bar now.
Ah, thank you. Get you. You're right. The target drops whatever is holding and then ends its turn on its next turn. Okay, so it actually doesn't drop his weapon until now, I guess, and then ends its turn. Right? Yeah, that's right. Because I remember thinking about how this spell is like just absolutely is a turn ender for a single character. Okay, you're right. So you've commanded him. He literally stares straight ahead for a second. Like he was all like riding the horse, and all of a sudden he just stares blankly ahead, and kind of like the mic drop when he just like reaches out his spear and drops it very dramatically, and then retracts his hand, and then just sits there, stares ahead for a second, and then like as combat moves on, he suddenly like gets his senses. But that is all he can do. However, after that, the hulking ogre-like figure who attacked Cudgel cleaves through the fray, cutting down several scrambling militia. Flanked by several loyal mercenaries, he scowls at you all and says, "This ain't no game, little ones. We work for the dragon army now, and they pay better than old Cudgel." You've got new foes that have emerged from the southern side of the battlefield. Which we've already got 3, so we're going to make these guys 4 and 5. Be 1 and 2. That guy is a force unto himself. And you've got these guys with the glorious hair on the token. are armed with crossbows. And they will attempt to shoot, which, yeah, I guess we actually do need to look at range, don't we? There's a crossbow range on that. Where the hell did I just put you guys? 80 and 320. Actually, everybody is within 80. Okay, except Kazra is sort of back there. But let's include everybody for funsies.
I feel like Kazra's behind a tree.
Yeah, Kazra is kind of behind a tree. And all right, we're gonna shoot the guy in front, which is Pi.
Go Captain America.
Got it.
Right. I literally picture the shield as Cap Shield too. 11's not gonna hit that insane AC though.
That's right.
Darrett is feeling inspired by Kazra and all of you taking these guys out, however. And he will raise his weapon and shout out, for Vogler! And
wait, your weapon is fake.
no, he did loot a downed soldier's one of the bad guys' weapons.
Okay, cool. All right.
He's wielding a proper weapon before he did this. But he actually gives everybody within 30 feet of him. Oh, maybe he would have moved to get close to Kazra, though, I think. Yeah, he needs to move slightly over because he would want to include you in that. All right, now I think it's in 30 feet. Everybody within 30 feet basically gets the bless effect. Creature can add a d4 to its attack roll or saving throws. And basically it's for a minute, so he is basically doing an aura of like boosting all of you as long as he is conscious. That was his action, but so all of you have to remember you've got a d4 to attacks and saving throws. Number 10 was the one that Kazra just knocked out, so we go to Ellowyn. Man, all my new guys I rolled really bad initiative for, though. I just realized.
I'm like having a hard time finding my walking speed on my character sheet. Okay, found it. Right, I've got 30 feet, which would put me here. How far away? And these guys are over here. Okay. Ella's gonna put herself. She really just has no concept of like, oh, I think I might be in danger right here. So basically, she's gonna walk down here, and very brazen, like when she sees this ogre come out on the field, she's gonna walk toward him as far as she can, and she's gonna wag her quill at him. And as she's talking, she is going to say to him, well, aren't you just the big, smelly, dumb one? I can't even believe you would have the audacity to come at us. And she's just kind of wagging the quill the whole time, and she's gonna throw a vicious mockery at him. Wisdom save.
Yeah. He yells back and says, "Little bird, Dragonlance will crush you." He just looks more irritated, but you notice that does do damage deep inside his psyche.
And she just kind of chuckles very loudly so he can hear her. And she just stands there with her hands on her hips right in the center of the battlefield.
Which that's the one that does give him disadvantage, right, on the next attack?
Yes.
Vicious mockery? Okay. Yeah, you definitely draws attention with that one, and he scowls, but you can tell it definitely has an effect.
And she is going to, with her bonus action, use a bardic inspiration, and throw that at Kazra has one, right?
She spent hers.
I think she used it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ella will actually look over at Pi, who is wielding that shield so gracefully, and say, I think green is your color. It definitely is your color. Use your shield. Let's go. Let's go. And she's gonna throw bardic inspiration at Pi.
That's a D6 or D4?
D6.
All right, Cere, you see that Cudgel is coming to her senses, and you can hear her muttering under her breath, and she says, damn it, what the hell? Goodness. Knew you were an ass, but this... You can tell she's badly injured still, but she is talking and conscious. And she glances at you, Cere, and says, thank you for that. Watch yourself.
She nods and she says, I'll be all right. You just get to your feet. And she'll put her hands on Cudgel, and like she feels like something's coming from her that's like always been part of her or instinctual, and it's starting to feel like this is just a more natural path for what she should need to do anyway. And the chain on her neck glows, and she says, Forge Father, protect one of your children. And she's going to cast Sanctuary. Which, until the spell ends, a creature who targets the warded creature with an attack roll or a damaging spell must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or choose another target. And she's going to cast Sanctuary on Cudgel, and she's going to take the dodge action.
Does that look... you said your necklace glows. Does that have any kind of visualization to the Sanctuary part? Or is it just kind of like a feeling that Cudgel would have?
I'm not sure where Cudgel's eyes are necessarily, because if she was talking to the orc, maybe she doesn't see it or something. But yeah, like
once you're talking and doing stuff, she'd probably glance at you at least.
Yeah, the chain definitely like glows on its own. It's like it almost has like an inner light or an aura around it. And it's like instinctual for Cere more than something she's doing on purpose.
Yeah, you can see that effect certainly as her eyes go wide. Magic items exist in this world, but are a lot more rare than Forgotten Realms for sure. And her eyes kind of go wide and says, hey, we're lucky to have you all here. I got some folks on my side at least.
Reorcs will protect us all.
If you say so. And I did have her roll initiative for next time, but you can see that she also had just like a padded weapon, which she has dropped since. So, but she looks like she is still definitely one of those that doesn't want to like sit down and rest, even though she's badly injured. She's like staring daggers at the ogre-like figure that she called Dragonlance. All right, Korl. Yep.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna run up here. I'm gonna yell at this ogre. Yeah, when you get back to your dragon army, you tell them Korl sent you, and I will cast. Without even, kind of like Cere, without even realizing it, I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay, it's just like a part of your string of phrase suddenly coalesces into actual like a psychic effect.
Yeah,
I love that everybody. This is just like the mutant awakening for everybody. Is this another you?
It's a wisdom save. Like it's 14.
Oh, at this time he snorts at you derisively. Says, "I'll take you back in pieces." Is it anything happening on half?
Dance. Yeah, it's half damage.
Half damage. Okay.
So like 5.
Yeah, and just
And
like
then
with the Ellowyn thing, he talks big, but you can see it does have some effect on him. Mostly making him angry.
Seeing how good Pi was with that shield, I'm gonna go hide behind him now. But not before I give Kazra another bardic.
Okay. Let's see. This guy's been viciously mocked, but he still has his movement, and he's staring daggers at everybody. He's still barely been registering that Cudgel is even alive over there. You guys have done a good job of drawing his attention. 5, 10, 15, 20. He'll amble up to here, and he will... Yeah, Pi is here. And then Ellowyn also came up and affected him, so it's going to be... Actually, so who... It was... Okay, yeah, so he's going to either target Korl or Ellowyn, actually.
Do you have a handout of what the ogre looks like, by any chance?
That's a good question. Do I have one of just him? I don't think I do, because I'm... Let's see.
It's the half ogre from the old monster manual.
Yeah, I think it's just a generic.
Okay, so it's nothing special. Okay.
Which,
okay,
fun
that's
fact,
fine.
we could talk about this afterwards, but I actually changed that to the one in the new monster manual, which is the Ogrillon ogre. Because there are no halves in the new D&D anymore, so it's... But it's a similar stat block, but it's different, which I can also talk about afterwards. Anyway. So he will choose to... well, he'll decide between those two. We'll see. All right, Korl. He does have disadvantage on this attack. He tries to throw a javelin at you. Oh, the vicious mockery. Definitely fucked up his aim on that, though. And then it goes wide, and you can see that really makes him mad. And he barks orders at the others to tear them apart. Which, thankfully, they're pretty much all going next. Let's see. This one is actually up here by Kazra. So this one will rush up. Can I mount the horse? I think I can. These guys are trained. During your move, you can mount the creatures within 5 feet of you or dismount. Doing so costs an amount of movement equal to half your speed.
Yeah.
Rounded down. All right, so we'll hop on the horse as part of the movement.
I've always wondered what happens here. So it's half of your movement, but
right,
then
you
does the
gain
horse get its movement?
Yeah, and then the horse moves with you, so I would assume you just gain the horse's movement now. I probably won't give him the full
it's more
movement.
impactful when you get off. But you also have to have enough movement to get up on.
Yeah.
So.
And then he will attempt to attack Kazra.
Ooh.
With a nat 20. Our first nat 20 of the battle goes to the DM. For 7 damage. I rolled a 2 and a 4. That's not great. Could have been worse. But 7 damage is still a lot at level 2. And then the horse will take the disengage action and attempt to... He'll pilot it more down here, I guess. Or maybe he'll... He'll go around every... Well, yeah, so disengage, it doesn't matter. 5, 10, 15, 20. We'll put him... put him over here. Tries to dance around on that horse.
We're getting pinchered.
Yeah. All right, this one... 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can make it to here. So he's going to have to hurl a spear. And we'll see he is after. Ellowyn this time. So we chunk a spear for an attack of 12 is probably not good enough to hit the bard.
Nope.
Okay, and then we've got our bandit down here, which will walk over here. And with the crossbow, we've got multiple targets we can strike. See if we can hit Pi with a crossbow attack. 13 is not going to be good enough. And then this mercenary, again, nobody's paying attention to Cere and Cudgel over here yet. 5, 10, 25, 30. They make it to here, so they're also going to try to throw a spear. But only within 30 feet. 5, 10, 15, which is those guys. At Korl. A 17 at Korl.
That'll hit.
Oh, that one goes sailing for 2 piercing damage. The littlest javelin that was ever thrown. My goodness, the damage dice are not working out. However, now we get to the end of the initiative, and we see what other fate befalls you. A volley of arrows falls in a random player character's position. Ooh, let's have everybody just give me a flat-out d20, and whoever rolls lowest is going to be a participant of a volley of arrows. Cere down there. It's you, and unfortunately everybody within 10 feet of you. So you and Cudgel both have to make dexterity saving throws or take 1d6 piercing damage.
Yeah, Sanctuary does not protect the warded creature from areas of effect.
From area effect things, yeah. Let's see. So that is a dex save for Cudgel.
Is that what we have to do? Make a dex save first, or
does prone affect? Because I was gonna have her be prone. She kind of crawled out. I don't remember.
I don't think it does.
It actually affects dex saves. Okay.
You can still roll away.
She makes it somehow. Cere not so much.
Cere's busy protecting Cudgel.
Yep. So I'm gonna roll damage for. I guess actually just damage for you because she doesn't take any. You took 1 piercing damage, just a little bit of nick.
Barely notice it.
Barely even notice it. All right. At the start, we've got a lot of combatants on the field. Pi.
All right. So my previous hit on this guy, Vex property gives me advantage on this hit.
Okay.
So this guy's problems get worse.
His problems get worse. Oh my gosh.
23?
You are so close to rolling crits. You've gotten so many like 20s. 20-somethings.
7 plus 100 mark, D6.
Oh, God.
13.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you want to try to make this non-lethally, or do you want to just stab this guy? You under no compulsion to do either one. There was no discussion about non-lethal versus lethal or anything. Kazra, I don't know if you even noticed she's been doing non-lethal damage, but it is up to you. Mechanically, you can choose to do it with any melee attack, I believe.
At this time, I would like to do non-lethal.
Okay. I guess have I been Xing them out or not? I think I've been Xing them out anyway, but you guys have been...
Yeah.
He's got too many tokens. All right, so you managed to cut his straps and then like bash him with the palm. It's weird to do like slashing damage non-lethally, but
I hit him with the shield.
Yeah,
end,
basically. I think you like tried to cut him like loose of something with your sword, and as he kind of looks around, you just like, bash him over the head with the shield, and he falls. Still put the X because it's easier to denote that.
And then I pat the horse to have the shoot.
Horse runs away. Back into the fray.
Especially if you're going to bring more guys on, then we don't want to have horses laying around.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Actually, I'm going to attempt to try to get on the horse. Actually,
okay.
That requires shield on my back, right? And then movement.
It does. I'm going to ask for an animal handling check since these horses don't necessarily know you. But it's not going to be an action to do so.
Okay. I would speak with animals, but that is different.
That would be an action against that, yeah.
15. Actually, it's a 6. I don't know why I don't have advantage.
Okay. With a 6, you can tell the horse is a little too spooked and skittish, and you feel like you might injure yourself by trying to get on this horse after you just knocked the rider unconscious in the middle of the battle.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Kazra.
Okay, so Kazra looks at the guy who attacked her, and she says, "Get back here, you jerk face!" And she is going to run up here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And from there, she is going to take another swing with her Warhammer. And there's the Bless spell, so let's try that one first. 14 doesn't hit. So then Bardic Inspiration. Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit. For all the things.
And let's see. She does another 10, and yeah, that's her turn. Actually,
same thing. You knock
she's...
this. Sorry, you knock this one completely off, upend them. Kazra absolutely just downs another one.
And then she's going to use her let's see, I already have Action Surge, I think, right? Pretty sure I just got it. Yeah. I'm going to use Action Surge. And she is going to use her load her crossbow with her bonus action, and then she is going to take a shot with her heavy crossbow at the Ogrelon. Does a 15 hit him?
Yes. Splunk.
Okay. Then he gets knocked back 10 feet, and she does 4 damage to him.
Okay. With such force. When a large creature takes that giant crossbow bolt and slides backwards.
And she is... I think that's all that she can do.
Okay. This one is down. Cudgel will stand up, pick up a nearby weapon, which we'll say is a short sword, and she will scream at Dragonlance. Says, you traitorous bastard! And she shuffles, and you can tell she's got adrenaline running through her, Cere, but you can tell she is more wounded than she lets on. And she closes. She can't reach him, but she does close to this guy, and she'll stare at him and like, how could you follow this bastard and do this? And she will attack with her short sword, which does hit this guy. And she actually knocks him out. Or she doesn't even care about non-lethal. You could tell she actually comes in and just has murder in her eyes. And this is a huge betrayal for her. And this dude who's sitting there with a crossbow trying to shoot you all, he suddenly turns and tries to bring his crossbow up, and she just with one motion like stabs her sword through his chest and just chunks it out real quick, and he just falls down gurgling blood, and she's not even looking at him. She's just staring at the ogre over here. And now he turns to her, says, Cudgel, I don't know who your friends are, but they're proving to be a bit of a problem. Kill her! And this one will turn his crossbow on her But that's a sanctuary thing, right?
Yes, should be.
Wisdom save to even attack her, is that right?
Yes. Yep.
She lost it when she attacked.
Is that how it works?
Till a spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or a damaging spell must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or choose another target or lose the attack or spell. Let me double check my character sheet if it has any more information there. Sanctuary. The spell ends if the warded creature makes an attack roll, casts a spell, or deals damage.
Okay. So, and I like the way you roleplayed. You probably didn't even know necessarily how the implications of this spell. But you could see Reorix's blessing upon her, but then fades as she murders this guy. And it may be something, with your character being.
Well, I was gonna say I didn't want to interrupt the thing, but
yeah.
Cere like looks away, like she can't watch as it happens.
Yeah, and she's obviously just a hardened warrior and mercenary, and so that so the sanctuary melts off of her, and she can probably feel that effect as so I don't have to actually roll that. Okay, so bandit, crossbow. Which does not actually hit her. She's got a better AC than 16, miraculously. So the sanctuary melts off, but she takes her sword and just does a cool deflection blow with her one sword, and again barely paying attention and still trying to lock eyes. Darrett is amazed by you, Kazra. You've been taking these guys out left and right, and he will move forward. I don't think he can actually reach anybody. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, he can. He will brazenly charge forward. And what did I say? He picked up a spear. And what is a spear? A D6? Yeah. So we're going to give you a spear. 1d6, and we'll let you attack. I don't know if his actual thing works for him. Doesn't need it anyway. Darrett, with your 22, is going to hit for 6 damage. He says, come on, we can do this. All right, Ellowyn.
Okay. Ellowyn's going to see Cudgel up and able to enter the battle. And killing.
Yep.
And that she was kind of focusing her rage on the ogre. And so I'm just trying to double check. These two here are both still living, breathing enemies.
Number 4 and 5 are both up.
4 and 5, yep. Right? Okay. All right. So I think
it's actually a good idea.
Ello is going.
Once they die, I'm going to take away their numbers. That'll probably be a good indicator too.
Okay. She's going to take. She's going to kind of dance in between these downed bodies and come here. And as she's kind of stepping forward, she's feeling a little emboldened by Cudgel, and she looks directly at the ogre and yells to him, go ahead and shoot again. Maybe you'll hit your dignity this time. And as she does that, she's actually going to cast Bane.
Oh.
And she's going to okay, it's not automatically using spell slots. Oh, we gotta flip the switch to do that. Okay. You can target up to 3 individuals within 30 feet. So the ogre and then these other 2, because this one's still too far away. So we'll hit 4 and 5, and the ogre, they have to make charisma saves.
Charisma? That's probably not what he's great at. Let's see. All right, ogre. is not very charismatic. And then the guards got 4 and 5. Oh my goodness. You have absolutely found a weakness. They all appear to be the opposite of emboldened with your speech. And they feel
So
Yep.
It's not a damage spell. It's a debuff.
Yep.
So basically, they have to subtract a D4 from an attack roll or a saving throw, as long as I maintain concentration.
It's the negative plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they feel a sudden. Your words actually carry weight, more weight than you've ever realized, Ellowyn, and you can feel literally suddenly they start looking like skittish and kind of their eyes darting around and looking more uncertain of the whole situation.
And I think she will use the rest of her movement to kind of maybe hunker down by this wall behind this dead body.
Okay. It does look like you could possibly get half cover using this kind of low, ancient, crumbling wall. It was part of this battle once and is now again.
She's small, so.
Cere.
There's a distinct disadvantage to playing the way I'm trying to play and going immediately after Dory, because I was going to cast Healing Word on Cudgel, and I was going to walk up and try to cast Bane on the people down here.
You got the same effects.
So yeah, it's I'm probably going. No, it's okay. And so I'm not totally understanding the action abilities for 2024. Influence as an action, if they're unwilling, it looks like it says that if your urging is repugnant to the monster or counter to its alignment, no ability check is necessary. It just doesn't comply.
Yes.
So
they put in language there. It's like, look, you can't like Jedi mind trick people with a charisma check. Basically, if they're not want to do what you want them to do, they're just. It's
Bond could have, but Cudgel or not Cudgel,
probably.
Yeah, but Bond could have. But yeah. Okay. So I really don't have anything to do this turn. Then I will.
Dashing could be an action. Dodged, any of those to get into a better position, possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna hobble behind
Cudgel would
her.
let you lead her away. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hobble behind her and I'm looking at the mercenaries, and the only thing I could think of is that she would be like, "Why are you doing this? I don't understand. This is for money. What is it that you need so bad that you're willing to kill for?" And take the dodge action.
Okay.
Because they're all humans except for the ogre, right?
Yes, and you're not even sure he's a full ogre. He looks very ogre-ish,
like half ogre.
as James pointing out, like a half ogre thing. And Cudgel kind of nods at your saying this, and she.
Well, I'm also looking at Cudgel.
Right, yeah. She's like, no amount of money is worth this.
I meant judging that she just killed somebody.
Yeah.
Also is what I meant. Yeah.
She's
probably too in it to register it.
Yeah, she's fine. A little too in it, but she's still staring at her former merc company, and she's like, traitors deserve death for this. No better for them. All right, Korl.
Okay, I'm gonna yell at this Ogrillon from behind Pi. You're gonna know who I am, you son of a bitch.
All these vicious mockeries coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see, wisdom, and and I have to subtract a 1d4 from this if I make it, which she definitely does not.
Man, your saves sucked wieners.
Saves been terrible. real bad. And he will take 4 damage from that. Just like a single tear rolling down. You guys are really getting to him psychically. Like all the damage has been psychic damage. he doesn't
Run
look
up to
wounded at all,
Kazra.
but he certainly feels wounded. All right. Anything else, Korl?
Nope, that's it.
All right. So he is. Cudgel's definitely the closest, and certainly drew some of his attention, even though would love to beat up Ellowyn particularly. But he's not even quite sure like why her words are having such an effect on him. So while glancing at you, Ellowyn, and barking orders for basically the others to come at you, he walks over to Cudgel, says like, "Oh, finish what I started. It's too late now." So he doesn't have disadvantage, right? It's just a -D4 for his attack.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he has
also
disadvantage
has
from the vicious
disadvantage.
mockery.
From the vicious mockery. Okay, so disadvantage plus a -D4. Oh my goodness. So, D4. A 13 is not going to hit. So once again, she is very wounded, but she still has some fight in her, and she barely even moves. He just swings wide because of, and he shakes his head and even kind of glances unsure at Ellowyn due to this effect. Let's see.
She glances right back, just as unsure.
Yeah. Like, is that me? So this one will, let's see, they've been ordered to attack Ellowyn, but is currently engaged with Darrett. So this one will attack Darrett. But okay, how does Bane affect critical hits? That's interesting. I guess he still has to do the -1d4.
Yep.
And then it no longer becomes a crit, I assume. Is that right, James? You usually know these things.
I actually don't know.
I don't either, because usually if you roll a
I feel
nat
like it would still be a crit.
20, it's still, yeah, that's... Ooh, somebody look that up for me. This is an interesting edge case. I've never seen this happen. Bane.
It says it will, like, okay,
Yeah.
a Reddit post says that it will reduce the final result, but the 20 is still a 20 and will still crit.
It will still crit. So effectively, it doesn't actually do anything because the crit still hits regardless. That's interesting.
I was looking up the stuff about damage and healing, and I felt like it had something about critical in there. Critical hits. When you score a critical hit, you deal extra damage. Roll the attack's damage dice twice. Blah 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 blah.
But a crit isn't an auto hit, though, is it?
It is.
If
yeah.
you...
It is. So even if Darrett's AC were a 25, technically, I think according to the rules, if I roll a nat 20, and it's only a 23, I think that still hits, I believe.
And you still count critical damage with it, or just negates the critical damage?
I believe it
if
still
goes
has
under
all the
the
critical
AC.
effects. Yeah,
it's still crit.
It doesn't come up very often because people usually if a crit hits, it would also hit the AC. But it's an interesting.
I'm looking
edge
up
case.
attacks now because that was just damage.
Yep. Okay, so he's gonna take. Jeez, my damage dice once again. Darrett takes 6 damage. But he is. You can tell he's at least as hardy as you all, based on his. He's not as armed, and certainly doesn't have the magical powers you guys have. In fact, he has been, wide-eyed about all of that for sure. But he is a trained fighter. He doesn't have his signature weapon, but he is able to take that blow and just kind of grunt, and it doesn't seem to diminish his resolve, and possibly absorbed an attack from that would have gone to Ellowyn in that case also. That's the dead bandit. This mercenary will go after Ellowyn. Sides up to you. Spotted you kind of hiding behind the corpse. And attempts to stab at you. And the -1d4 is an 18. Does an 18 hit you?
Yeah, my AC is a 16.
Okay. So I'm going to roll strong there. Stabs down for 7 piercing damage. And I need a concentration save on Bane as well.
On page 12, it says if you roll a 20, called a natural 20 for an attack roll, the attack hits regardless of any modifiers or the target's AC.
Thank you.
It's called a critical hit.
was an interesting, yeah.
And the same applies for 1, that no matter what modifiers you have, a 1 still fails.
Which I'm sure has come up before in our games where somebody rolled a 1, they're like, oh, let me add Bardic Inspiration or something, try to make this a thing, when I should have said, like, no, that's going to miss regardless. Okay, I believe you do hang on to the Bane effect, though. So even though he grits his teeth and still stabs you, he's shaking his head that the effect is still on. End of the round, we get to make a... Oops, what did I do with that? I don't know if High Hill. Let's see if we get a different one or a new one. Okay, a different one. This has been fun. We get different ones every time. 2 terrified, riderless warhorses bolt from the fray. 1 random player character must succeed on a DC 14 dex save or be knocked prone. So let's do the same thing. Everybody give me a 1d20, and whoever rolls lowest is going to get hit by a random horse. Hopefully it's Pi, who tried to mount a horse earlier. You can say it's the horse's revenge. But the dice have said it's Kazra back there. Needs to give me a dex save or get temporarily trampled by horses. DC 14. Okay, Kazra, I like that you've just been knocking dudes off horses, and finally a bunch of riderless horses come in.
I do get to... what was the save number on it? DC 15?
It is a 14.
14.
You would get to add a 1d4 because of the bonus effect from Darrett.
Could I use my lucky feat to use one of the lucks? See.
We could share the lucky with the class, but I think that's right. Is that from the origin feat?
Yeah, that was... Well, yeah, it was her one that she picked for being a human. So...
yeah, D20 test includes saving throws.
Okay, then I'm going to give that a try. Okay, and then it is the blessed thing is still going on, right?
Yep, it's Darrett is still... I don't know if you have to stay within 30 feet of him. It just says can utter a special command... Oh, whenever a creature he can see within 30 feet of him. So you do have to be within 30 feet of him, actually. Sorry. I'll post it again so we can make sure. Range. But it does say utter a special command or warning whenever a non-hostile creature he can see within 30 feet of him makes an attack or something. So I guess mechanically it's like him shouting like, oh, watch that guy or do that. So if you're too far, I don't think that effect actually can get you.
Okay, so how much damage do I take?
No damage. You're knocked prone, though. You're just trying to think. Yeah, that'd be terrifying. It was a horse charge. All right, Pi. You've got 2 guards up. One of them is injured, number 5 here, and then, of course the big guy who is also injured psychically.
Yeah, I'm going to move my Hunter's March to number 4. And then run up to him. Because we have him flanked, do I get advantage?
No,
on the
sir.
short sword attack?
No.
No.
None of that flanking BS. I haven't done that in years.
Right.
It's been 84 years.
I was asked.
I appreciate that every time you're like, all right, how can I get advantage here? And you've never needed the advantage, by the way. You're rolling... above a 20 every time. 23 will hit.
Alright, and... Ooh. 5 plus... 4. 9.
Saved by the Hunter's Mark. Alright, with 9, you can execute a lethal or non-lethal downing of this soldier.
Still non-lethal, even though he just saw her lethally do stuff.
Yeah.
So, but still non-lethal.
Yep. Alright, you come up and do like a 1-2 punch with a cool like slash and then just slamming with the shield. And this one crumples to the ground.
Yep.
Alright, Kazra, you've been knocked prone by trampling horses.
I have a weird question. Does being prone affect how much movement you have? Like, if she doesn't get up, can she go her normal movement?
Half speed.
Usually it's half speed, like you're crawling.
Okay. But basically, it's just the same as if she stood up.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah, she's gonna stand up, and you said that she could get on a horse. Like, how do we do the horse thing? Is
The way
that
I
an
was
animal
doing
handling
it
check?
was for you all to get on one of these horses, it would require an animal handling check.
Okay. She's gonna try getting on the horse as she stands up. She's gonna say, good horsey, good horsey.
Ooh. That's technically interesting that Roll20 no longer highlights the nat 20 on skill checks, right? Because that is a nat 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess as a reminder that technically there is no such thing as a nat 20 on skill checks, even though that's a nat 20. So yes, you're good horsey, absolutely becomes the horse whisperer. And that horse genuflex to allow you easy access on.
Does that mean that I now have the horse's movement too?
I think so. It's not terribly clear on that part.
Okay, well, if that's the case, let's see.
That's because I'm gonna trample that guy.
I'm gonna trample that guy. You don't have the horse's charge ability. I know that. It can only take the dash, disengage, and dodge actions. So it does say the initiative of a controlled mount changes to match yours when you mount it. It moves on your turn as you direct it. Yeah, it just says it costs. During your move, you can mount a creature, and it costs half your movement speed to mount the creature.
So it's half to stand up from prone, another half to get on the horse.
Yep.
And then if I counted it right, the horse should get me 40 feet would be like right here. Or somewhere nearby. Let me check that again. Let's see. Oh, I can get here. That's what I'm going to do.
If you trample pie, then yes, I think so.
Okay, then I will go around Ello and get to. Let's see.
You
get me like right
you get to
here. Oh, that. Get down one more below that.
Yeah, this horse
I feel like
probably
horse should be
isn't
60.
either. Yeah, that horse is probably gone.
Okay.
All right, you want to go here next to Derek? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to be just like right there.
Yeah, Derek cheers when he sees you triumphantly riding one of the horses. At first, he thinks it's one of them coming at him.
And when she gets up there, she's going to look at the guy that is in front of Derek, and she's going to say, "Hey, you guys should just give up right now because we're just going to keep kicking your butt." And then she's going to attack with a different weapon.
I have a Derek hand up. He's jealous.
She is going to use.
I'm the ranger.
She's actually going to throw a net at the guy.
Wow, you're going all fucking Spartan with the horse net thing. All right, guard with a deck save. Eric, your deck saves haven't been good. Not even in the same ballpark with these rolls. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that he is restrained now.
It's been literally netted.
And I think that is going to be the rest of her turn.
All right, Cudgel down here gets to try to stab at Dragonlance with her short sword. And a 15 does hit the ogre, who's not wearing much armor. 9 piercing damage. She is not playing around. You can tell she is absolutely playing for blood here. She knows it. Seeing all the bodies around it. And these guys, make no mistake, there are dead bodies all around. Like, these guys are not trying to knock people out. They are absolutely murdering people left and right. And she's just yelling the whole time. Says, "You bastard!" And then this one will attempt to I guess still following his orders. He'll attempt to shoot at Ellowyn down here. Still within 80 feet. Yes.
Do I have half cover?
Yes, you do. Which adds, I think, +2 AC. Not gonna matter though. That crossbow goes wide. All right, Darrett will attack his quarry with advantage, I believe, because you've got they're in a net.
In his handout, is he holding fish pies?
I think he's supposed to be holding, yeah, because that's when you meet him.
Yeah.
This guy was already wounded, so 4, and Darrett does follow all of your leads and actually knocks him out with the butt of the spear, like just cracks him over the head. And nods to you, Kazra. All right, Ellowyn. I think the only one that left is the half ogre boss down there.
Okay.
Who is wounded for sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. There's that one bandit down there is wielding a crossbow.
Okay. I think she is going to see Kazra ride up on the horse and throw the net, and she's going to be very in awe of that. And so she's going to look at Kazra and go, aim for glory, or the big guy. Either works, but do it big. And she's going to throw a bardic inspiration at Kazra. And then she's going to look at the big guy. And I want to make sure I know how this works. If Dissonant Whispers, does it force them to move or just forces them to not be able to move closer to you?
I believe if they fail to save, they are forced to spend their reaction and actually flee away from the source, assuming it's the same as it was, which does provoke opportunity attacks because they spend their reaction doing so, which is always a big benefit of that spell.
Okay. Okay, so I think she's gonna look in the direction of the ogre, and she's going to kind of get a whispery voice, and I think she's going to just start whispering something to the effect of your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. In very Monty Python-esque, and she's going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
I haven't heard that so
ogre.
I almost was saying the brave Sir Robin ran away when Ellowyn was writing with her quill earlier, because like
I was so stupidly into Monty Python in high school. Oh my god. I had a friend that introduced all that. He had VHS tapes of Faulty Towers and like all those fucking like British comedy shit. Yeah, this is 4 ogre.
Yeah.
It's like taking no physical damage whatsoever. It's like an achievement for this. All right, wisdom save. All right, well, I rolled better, but not quite good enough. So 3d6 damage.
3d6 psychic damage, so 11 psychic damage.
Yep.
Must immediately use its reaction to move as far away from me as it can using the safest route.
Yeah, so it goes 5, 10, 15, 20. And I am going to actually have it get affected by the fray because he is not really under his control very well. And also, he's going to take attack of opportunity from Cudgel. So he's going to be a 1-2 punch here. As he suddenly, his eyes go wide as he like does a slow turn onto Ellowyn and blanches. And Cudgel actually thinks that it's something like she said, that she's driving him away, but you can tell it's something that you said. So Cudgel will attempt an attack for opportunity. 13 actually does hit this guy. And he just has a lot of hit points. And then he has to make a dex save, which he fails because it was a DC 16. So he runs into the fray, and as he does, you see very poetically, like, it just a stray arrow or something, like, gets him right through the eye, just as he turns tail to run back into the mix. And you can see Cudgel all kind of mutters, says, "Kill was mine, bastard." But she's not saying it to you, Ellowyn. She's just muttering it to herself. "Goddess, you fool." We do still have one combatant on the field who now, with Gregonis being down, looks like he is going to turn tail. But we'll wait until we get to the end of the round for that. Cere.
Yeah, I'll just hobble. Like, after watching that go down.
You could now probably, with the boss gone, make an influence action. Take the influence action, I could say, whereas before it would not be possible.
If that's the case, then she would walk forward. She's not super charismatic necessarily. She'd hobble over this way toward the thing. She says, "Look at what you're doing. Drop your weapons." But that's not the command action. I'll make a persuasion roll.
Yeah, because I believe it's a certain. Oh yeah, it's a check. Yeah, you could do persuasion.
16.
16. DM chooses a default DC equal to 15 or the monster's intelligence score. All right. So with a 16, the bandit will definitely just drop the crossbow and, like, basically put his hands up. Says, "All right, fine. All right, fuck it. Shit, don't kill me."
And with the rest of her movement, she'll hobble over to. Let me make sure I've got the movement. I was here. That's as close as I can get, but I'm hobbling over to get the weapon, basically.
Okay, and as you see, this one surrender fully, and as Gregonis' body just kind of falls amongst the fray in here, you can tell that the fighting around you has finally began to thin out. The few remaining hostile mercenaries amongst the fray seem to have been scattered or perhaps killed, and you can see a retaliatory charge suddenly breaks through the fray, led by Becklin, shining in her full Solamnic plate armor. And right behind her is Mayor Raven. Her arm is in a sling, but she's wielding a short sword in the other. And Becklin nods to you all and says, "Thank you. You've all saved lives with your actions. Cudgel!" And she kind of yells, and Cudgel nods weakly and then just, like, collapses, like, as the adrenaline leaves her body. And though injured and winded, Mayor Raven's voice rings out and says, "Voglerians, check for wounded. Use blankets and spears for stretchers. Everyone back to the village. The gates." And her voice kind of lowers to where only you all nearby hear, and she says, "We'll have to bury our dead later." With that, why don't we take a break right now, and we will return to the aftermath of this battle. 10-minute break. We'll be back. All right.
The funny part is,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't actually know how long it's been. Did we have enough time for everybody to take a break?
I've had a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to look at the clock before, but all right, we are coming back from our break. We've had a long battle, our first battle, and many of you used some frankly miraculous powers that should astonish a number of people. Becklin wasn't necessarily there to see it. Cudgel probably did realize some things were happening, but was also still in her, like, adrenaline bloodlust. The one who was definitely wide-eyed and asking many questions as Darrett, as well as some of, obviously, your characters may be pretty confused or awed by the situation. Clearly some supernatural powers going on.
Cere just limps around and starts to check on anybody that's still alive, and tries to do what she can to medicine check them into at least a stable condition.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Oh, nuts.
Ooh, I think I was dead.
Yeah, 9's not great. Unfortunately, you
I got there too late because I was slow.
Yeah, you find that there was maybe somebody you could have saved, but it's up to you what yeah. Whether you feel like you would channel your divine magic into actually doing that, or just trying to use your own healing skills to do so.
And no, this is just healing skills.
Yeah, when you reach them, you find that they're just too far gone. In fact, maybe it's traumatizing because you probably see them breathe their last. And these were people that were they were militia, but from what you've heard of this town and stuff, this is not exactly a town that gets attacked or raided or anything else. Like, these are folks who volunteer to protect the place, but they really haven't had to do much of anything. And in fact, this was what you're gathering is the mayor was like, hey, let's use this opportunity to actually like really kind of help train and prepare people. And obviously she is looking around feeling absolutely horrified at this turn of events. And Cudgel is one of those where you could tell all of her like adrenaline, I almost picture it like giving her all these temporary hit points, and now they just like leave her and she just like kind of collapses to the ground again. And you actually find that you have to construct a stretcher to help her. Like, she will not rouse back up again, so she would need just plain old rest. And some of you may need some rest as well, actually. Clearly had spent some of your magic force as well as literal hit points there. You do have some...
Can I loot anyone?
Go ahead.
Can I loot any of the dead people?
Yep.
The big guy?
Yep. The mercenaries probably should have something on them. What they have is basically their basic equipment of like spear, and then their armor, which is chain shirts. They have chain shirts, shields, and spears. I don't think any of them have necessarily gold on them. Dragonlance, we will say, has at least on him, we'll say he's got 20 gold on him in a pouch somewhere. But he is very dead. Almost all psychic damage. It's very impressive.
Kazra wants to start rounding up the horses, kind of get them all together.
Okay.
Do I need to do an animal handling check on it?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an animal. You can have your one horse with you still. And I will give you advantage because of your previous working with the horses. Okay. Unfortunately, you find that the horse with you maybe just be a special unique bond you have with that horse versus trying to gather the others. They seem like you're looking around and you can't even get close. They just peel off and go somewhere else. They want to get away from this site. But
the horse that she's on, she'll dismount the horse and kind of like pet its face and kind of brush it a little bit. And then just say, "Good horse. Now you need to run on home and be a good horse."
Okay. The horse actually kind of stays near you for a second, just kind of looks at you.
Okay, you can come with me if you really want to.
I thought for a second you'd pull the like dramatic part of a movie. It's like, "Go horse, I don't love you anymore. You need to go." Like, no,
Our first party pet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, who is now canonically named Horsey, I think. There's no other way for that.
Cere walks up, tears in her eyes after not being able to save the other person, and gets close to Korl, who I'm not thinking that she's interacted with the party like directly yet in my head. But she walks up as Korl's like starting to put together stuff, and she says, "What are you doing?"
Looking for clues. So why they attacked?
He says,
"What are you doing?"
"All right. Well, I'm just."
I saw you kill that guy.
What guy?
The militiaman. He looked like he was gonna make it, but
I didn't put my hands on anybody. What I'm thinking is that we need to stack this up for the militia. All this equipment belongs to the town of Vogler.
not the mercenary stuff.
The militia is going to need that too.
Yeah,
They're going to have to arm every one of the people here.
Yeah, I don't need these spears.
And she walks over toward Ellowyn, and she says, "You look awfully familiar."
Oh my God. Korl. Another one in our dream. Oh my God.
Nabbit. That's where I know you from.
You
and
were
she'll
in
notice
the dream too.
because yours was the quill,
yeah.
right?
Well, no, mine is the flames seared onto the front of my book.
Okay, onto the book. And what was yours?
Yeah.
Korl?
Flute.
A flute. Okay.
Golden flute.
Yeah, and she'll just kind of reference those as like what she remembered seeing. And she'll just kind of like clutch at her chain for a second. And she'll look around at like the, just the battlefield, basically. And she says, I can't believe what's happening. Did they say dragon army?
I heard the word dragon. Yeah.
I think so.
At which point she'll kind of look to maybe Pi and Kazra.
Did you hear that too, or were we all dreaming?
Go ahead, Morgan.
So do you think this dragon army is some kind of army or something that might be like doing something?
I mean, dragons. I don't think that there's been. Who's heard of dragons? It's got to be just a name. Like the Knights of the Roses. They're not really roses.
I mean, they might smell like roses.
They do not.
She limps over. I know that. She limps over and she's, I'm Cere Underborough. I can't believe that they'd attack people like this. Maybe we should go see what the rest of the town is. I'm going to see what else I can help carry back in. And she starts like rummaging around to maybe grab something before she starts making it back toward the town.
Yeah, Becklin is gesturing for basically everybody to get back. Anybody who's basically still around here. And you notice a lot of the people who were on a spectator section, that area is completely cleared out. And then Becklin and Mayor Raven and some of the more braver spectators are part of her group. And she notes that you all did a fine job of staying alive and defeating basically probably at least a third or a fourth of the total enemy forces by yourselves. She does note that you have I guess you have a lot of prisoners. You knocked out some of them unconscious, which I do note, and then one of them straight up surrendered. So she will probably direct Kazra to restrain. Because Kazra is like the fighter who wields nets. So she would probably direct you to restrain him and bring him to the village, and then also obviously help Cudgel, who's literally still unconscious. And Becklin says, we need to get answers from both of them. But we need to...
She tries to load Cudgel up onto Horsey, and then the other guy, she just kind of puts him in a net and throws him over her shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. You are the party's pack mule. You've got like the biggest strength rating. You've got the most inventory space you can carry. So everybody just throws all the various things. You've got the 30 spears that Korl found and just hands to you, one spear at a time. The return trip to Vogler is very somber. The path is littered with trash as many spectators fled at the first sign of danger, while others linger near the gate, watching for loved ones that will never return. Many begin to wail and sob and drop to their knees as you all pass through the river gate. Without a dedicated house of healing, the mayor's house is quickly turned into a makeshift hospital. Crowds gather at the village circle, comforting one another and searching for answers. Cudgel is brought to a private room at the Brass Crab as Becklin fears for her safety. And she tells you all to meet there at the Brass Crab, which is the inn where you all had the funeral. Mayor Raven, still wearing her dirty clothes and ripped cloth sling, makes a brief announcement at the village circle to an anxious group of villagers. Should switch us over to the village map, since we do have a nice village map. She explains that the mercenary company used real weapons with intent to kill, and that Cudgel herself was injured in the attack. And the response is, as you would imagine, villagers cry out asking why this happened. Where is Cudgel now? Why was the mayor so eager to feature these mercenaries in their reenactment? And most importantly, who will protect us now? Because that was pretty much all of their defensive force, and you note that not nearly as many came back. Mayor Raven says, my fellow citizens, I share your concerns. Knight Viharan and I are launching a full investigation into this atrocity. I do ask that no one leave the safety of the river gate for your protection. At this point, it's probably sunset. It's probably getting to be evening time as well. You all can meet at the Brass Crab, and especially Kazra, you're literally loaded down with bodies to deposit. And the Becklin is there and helps you move Cudgel into a private room where she can rest up. You note that while she could probably use like medicine checks or anything, it also just looks like she needs just pure rest. You think she pushed herself too hard by immediately coming back up and fighting during that battle. Also use the... I accidentally put you guys... Did I use the night one? It's like we could use maps for this, although the Vogler map's good too. But we've got the maps. The aging knight finally removes her helmet when she sits down. Her expression is haggard, and she mutters, I haven't seen a battle like that in years. That was a slaughter. And she looks up at all of you and says, clearly, Cudgel was betrayed. I refuse to believe my old friend had any part of this. Did she say anything to you? Did you all learn of anything?
She seemed just as angry and mad that ogre turned on us.
I can only imagine.
That it was a
fury.
betrayal?
Yeah. I presume I have you all to thank for her even still being alive. She is one of my oldest friends.
Is she a mountain dwarf or a hill dwarf? Do you know?
She's a hill dwarf. She is not from Thorbaden. Okay. Specifically, she was from a region south of Solamnia, the dwarven nation of Kaelin, south of Solamnia.
Cere would just say, "Well, Neardar, we're hardy folk. We'll stick through it till we can't no more."
She kind of smiles weakly at that and says, "Yes, you are all remarkable." I forgot to put Darrett on this map, but Darrett will speak up and say, Knight Viharin, and she kind of smiles again and says, "Just Becklin, Darrett. Becklin, these folks, they had some kind of strange powers. You have to tell her." Gesturing to you all. There he is. There's Darrett.
Well, there's nothing special about it. It's just a hammer.
Yeah, but you took out like 14 guys with that hammer.
And me and Kazra make a good team.
Cere says, "I didn't do anything other than help Cudgel back up."
I saw it. He especially points to Ellowyn. Says her words. I felt them. They seem to slice through the enemy like daggers on the wind.
Well, I mean, my words, they are powerful. I'm not going to lie, but and she's gonna point up. I'm assuming Cudgel is like upstairs somewhere.
I think it's only
Like
one
where
story,
wherever
but
she's resting.
there's like these
Okay.
little offshoot rooms basically that she's in now.
Okay. She'll kind of point in the direction of wherever Cudgel is resting, and she'll say, I'm not gonna lie though, you know, she did sparkle a little bit when I told her that, you know, it wasn't time. Her story wasn't over. She sparkled. I didn't expect that. My pen doesn't usually do that. Um, and she's just gonna kind of
All right, so you'll basically downplay. Darren's like trying to like act excited, and you're like, Becklin will. She's not dismissive, but she's also not fully bought in. She just kind of says, "This was certainly a trying time for all of us. We'll take whatever gifts and prowess we could use." I know that we'll need to speak with this prisoner you have conscious now. I would ask if any of you are particularly gifted in interrogation skills. I would like to handle questioning.
Cere like purposely looks away, tries not to make eye contact.
Says, suppose I could.
How about me and Ello? Probably get him to talk. You can write everything down.
absolutely. I'm ready. She just kind of takes her book.
Yeah.
What about the green shield one there? He packs a pretty hefty punch there. Do you talk to or just swing?
Just swing. I've never gotten anybody. I've been not able to talk anybody into anything.
Or horses.
Or horses. They just ran away from me.
She'll take Korl up on that offer, but she is also going to kind of like look at everyone, including Becklin and Dara, and she's going to say, did anybody else hear the the word dragon? Or was that just did everybody hear that? Because I'm a little concerned about that.
They're not real dragons. It's just the name.
I'm thinking they had too much to drink. Is what I'm thinking. They spent too much time at the festival.
Well, I mean, they swung their swords like they had a little too much to drink, if you're asking me. But yeah, I mean, maybe.
Ellowyn, roll an insight check.
Sure, as soon as I get my character sheet open.
I've got like 30 tabs open.
14.
When you mention Dragon Army, you see Becklin's face get dark for a moment. And she kind of scowls and looks away. But then she glances back, and you can try. She just kind of takes a deep breath and tries to calm herself.
You know something. You know something. What is it? What is it?
She shakes her head and says, I have been hearing some rumors of some force far to the east, but I haven't heard anything of. It certainly shouldn't be here in Vogler. And we shouldn't worry about it regardless. This was surely just an opportunistic attack by ruffians that unfortunately did a great deal of damage to this village. One that I only hope we can recover from. But she does direct you all to a room up here where you can interrogate, and it's not necessarily a private room. As you close the door behind you if you want, but Becklin clearly wants to be like the equivalent of the captain on the other side of the mirror, who can clearly listen on everything going on without necessarily being the one talking.
One of the complaints I have about the character sheet Roll20 is that when you mouse over some things, like some of the material things that requires like a cost, it'll have like you can mouse over it and it'll show you. But when you mouse over concentration, it doesn't show you the duration of the spell. And in the spell list, it doesn't show you the duration. You have to go into the information and look up the duration.
Yeah, you guys are free to interrogate your prisoner.
How do you want to do this? Good guard, bad guard, angry guard, sad guard, scared guard?
Yes.
Hungry guard.
Yeah.
How about I will follow your lead.
All right. How's it kind of
Wait,
look?
is it this door?
It's up here where Korl went in. So this is the one that surrendered and hadn't actually been attacked yet. So he is not looking particularly beat up, other than when Kazra threw him over her shoulder. But he was not actually wounded. Now, he saw everybody else get cut down, for sure.
You look scared? Or like,
give me an insight
defiant.
check. Give me an insight check. It's literally the definition of insight, I think. Hard to tell. Yeah, you've never done this before. Certainly not betraying any emotions on his face.
What
Okay.
Ello is observing Korl. So when she said she was going to follow his lead, like she really meant that. So what are you doing? Like what is your posture? What is your demeanor as you're going in the room?
Okay, I'm just gonna walk in, not say anything. Look at him for a second. And then I'm gonna like explode on him. Okay. Who do you work for?
Give me an intimidation.
What was the attack? What are you doing?
Yeah. Give me an intimidation check, but I will give you advantage because of the drama here. Or let's let Ellowyn actually follow up on because you said you're gonna follow his lead.
That's what I was saying. Was how does she follow up?
Yeah, how do you follow up?
Yeah, so Korl's a dwarf, right? So she's clearly like shorter and less intimidating looking with her bright clothes and things. So when you go up and you like slam and you kind of get in his face, she's gonna like run up and she's gonna stand like this and she's gonna hold up her book and she's gonna start tapping on the fire on the front cover, like just really aggressive. And she's like, yes, tell us everything. And then she'll whip the book open and she'll put the quill like she's ready to take notes. And she's like, the glasses go down and she's just like very like trying to look as forceful as you are.
All right, Korl, give me intimidation with it. Okay, you definitely needed the help from the book helped sell it there. Maybe he's got some superstition about his shit being written down, makes it real. Because you can tell he's got a kind of a cocky attitude at first, and he kind of glances side-eyed at Ellowyn and her book. Says, all right, yeah. Look, I don't know much, all right? Like, I saw Dragonlance. He just offered us a bunch of money to, attack the militia during the reenactment. For real. It was way more than we were getting paid for cudgel.
Oh, I understand. So, what is this about a dragon army that he mentioned? You know anything about that?
Like, I don't know anything about no army. I guess, I saw him leave camp all kind of strange. Like, I thought he was just going to go, take a leak or something. He headed off west, I guess, from the camp. And he just came back, like, took him a couple hours, which I thought was pretty weird, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. But he comes back with this whole little cart full of gold. And then he's, again, trying to be all sneaky about it. Like, his fat ass can be much sneaky. And he gathered some of us together and said he had a new job for us. If we just, attack the militia for real, take them out, and just, raid the village.
So it sounds like he kind of tricked you all into doing this. It's not your fault. Where did you guys come from?
Look, we came here because Cudgel wanted us here. She said this was important. She had to send off a friend or something. Dragonlance was muttering about it the whole time, saying this was a waste of time and a waste of pay. Him and JF were arguing left and right about it, Cudgel always keeping him in line, though. But she was gone a couple days, and here at the village, taking care of her stuff, and then, that's when Dragonlance got his thing. I don't know how he learned about what the hell was going on, or where he got that gold, or what. All right, that's all I know. He didn't tell anybody else nothing.
JF?
Ellow's gonna reach up and grab Korl's arm, like tug on his arm, and she's gonna. Where's the gold now?
So what happened to all that gold that he said he was going to pay you?
It's back at the camp, I guess. He was gonna put it in a safe place till the job was done. I tried to figure out where it was, but I ain't no tracker. Not like JF.
Yeah, who is JF?
He's the other lieutenant of the Ironclad Regiment.
Do we know what the Ironclad Regiment is?
That's the name of the mercenary camp or the mercenary group
Okay, yeah.
that was this whole faction of cudgels.
Yeah. So it sounds like he was the ringleader, and you were just doing what you were told.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
So where's JF now?
He wasn't at the.
Is he at the battle?
No, he wasn't there. He's usually out, scouting or foraging for supplies and stuff. He's kind of a dick, if you ask me. And that's saying something, because Dragonlance, holy crap. Well, you saw him.
Could you take us back to your camp? We could let him pay for your crimes and get you a lighter sentence.
Sentence? You mean I'm not gonna get strung up?
Not if you help us.
Roll another. Now you're probably doing persuasion versus intimidation, because you're being more sweet talking. If Ella wants to help, you can have advantage.
Is that a little table next to him in the room?
Sure.
Okay. So when I kind of sense the mood switching a little bit and we're trying to be more good cop, I think, at least for the moment, she's gonna kind of hop over. She's gonna hop up on the bed and then just sit on the edge of the table. And when Korl starts asking about the location of the camp, she's going to kind of also maybe edge her book closer to him. Maybe he would also be willing to help us out by drawing a map or something. So I'm kind of also putting myself in a little bit of a friendlier position to kind of ease the tension a little bit.
All right. Give me.
Starving.
Yeah.
Gonna get some bread. You want some bread?
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Cere's talking to Pie and says, "So I heard you landed Benagog?"
That fish gets bigger. That actually was a gigantic fish, to be fair.
Yeah. I picture maybe Kazra holding it up with the shield, and I'm standing there next to it in a Jaws moment.
Yeah. You got the charcoal drawing, whatever.
Yep.
With a 22 persuasion check, he nods vigorously. Says, "Yeah. I can draw you a map. I can take you whatever you need. I can be real helpful. You can always trust a merc, as long as you got the money, right? Right."
We'll start with the map.
Sure, yeah. And he does draw a map that looks, you can recognize Vogler and then you can recognize the high hill battle that you all came to. And then basically he indicates that the camp is north of that, just another couple miles. So he's like, it should be real easy to find. I mean, we had to all march out of the camp to the battle. Most of us were there, so should be plenty of, tracks and stuff to find it. Not my fault if JF murders you all, though. He's a bit twitchy.
All right, good to know. Anything else we should know about JF?
I mean, he's not a people person, I guess. Not like you, Haha. You're all right. More of a outdoorsy kind of guy.
Okay.
Did you say that this Lieutenant Jaev was arguing with Greganis? That it seemed like they were at odds with each other?
Oh, yeah, they fight all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was asking you not in character, but sure. Okay.
Oh.
That's okay. That's
Asking
okay.
the guy directly, yeah. Yes, that was mentioned.
Okay. Okay, so she would say, what exactly, what do they fight about? Everything? Something in particular? Did they fight more or less after the gold?
I don't think JF knew about the gold. I hadn't seen him in a couple days. And Gorgonis tried to keep it on the down low and only had his, the more amenable mercs with him to go to sign on with this plan. I definitely don't think he ever wanted to cut JF in. JF's a huge dick, but he's got, I don't know, scruples, I guess. I don't think he'd go for something like that. He really respects the hell out of Cudgel, I'll tell you that. He would not be a fan of what Dragonlance did to her.
Very, very interesting. She taps her chin. She kind of looks at you, Korl, and like she's waiting for you. Like, do we have everything we need?
Let me go check on that bread for you. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, and Becklin overheard all of that and nods to you, and as you all kind of exit the room, and she says, "That was quite dramatic, but you got results." Certainly having this information will be easier, and perhaps we should follow up on it even while Cudgel is convalescing. But I would very strongly suggest you all rest here tonight and set out first thing in the morning. You've all taken quite some injuries and look exhausted. We all are. That camp will still be there. I realize time could be important, but your lives are more important.
Here, here.
I have a quick question. Is the mayor in the room with us?
Not at the moment. She was last seen addressing a big crowd of people out at the village circle, and kind of doing the politician thing, I guess, of trying to calm people down, or community leader thing, really, I guess, calming people down and kind of trying to address their concerns, while Becklin was with you all here at the Brass Crab.
Okay, then Kazra is going to ask Becklin, since she seems to be the person in charge right now.
Yeah.
She's going to say, so all these people that we captured, they're going to get fair trials, right?
Cere perks up.
Yeah. She looks at you very seriously and she's like, it is my absolute intention to treat them as prisoners with all the care and respect that they deserve, but you have to understand this is unprecedented for these people to have gone through such incredible crises and trauma. And I cannot predict what the results will be. I barely have a few cells, or the equivalent of a drunk tank be like, really. And they're in the keep, and mostly they're used for drunks having to sleep it off. I've never had to hold prisoners of war who I imagine the villagers would call for their execution. So, in other words, I can't guarantee they would get a fair trial here. Best we could do is send them to Kalaman, to the south, as soon as we can, and I won't lie to you, any manner of trouble could befall them in that process. I do want to be clear, I appreciate and respect you for not causing any further loss of life, even though you were in the middle of a war zone.
Well, I don't know how much this will help, but, these people that we captured, folks are just folks. Just kind of do what you can to make sure that they're safe, okay?
You have my word as a knight that I will do everything in my power to ensure that justice is served in a righteous and equitable manner.
I don't know what all those words mean, but it sounds like you're going to try.
Yeah, and without even making an insight check or anything, you can tell she's very serious about this. And you would know that a knight does mean a lot in this universe. She is a full-fledged knight of Solamnia, and her honor is everything for her, like her oath and everything. So she is like should be extremely trustworthy in these regards. But she was also honest about the situation and be like, this is normally not something we have to deal with, and these people just murdered a whole bunch of these villagers. So it'd be essentially like us trying to house terrorists in a very small village where we can barely, even keep them in prison.
My honor is my life is like the Knight of Solamnia oath.
Yep.
What's the larger town name again? Like Kalaman?
Yes. Let's see, did I get it right? What is it called? Kalaman.
It's Kalaman.
Yeah. Kalaman.
Yep. That's where Ella's from.
Yeah, Cere just say, yeah, I think taking them to Kalaman's probably going to be the best for everyone. Killing them for their crimes isn't going to bring back their dead.
She nods and says, there has certainly been enough killing for one day. Darrett seems pleased about this outcome as well. Oops, why is he on the map twice? Not bad.
Cere says, now, where's that room I can have? Because I need to go lay down.
Yeah. She definitely, and you could tell she noticed a lot of you were sustaining injuries or exhausted or adrenaline and whatever else. So she does indicate that all of you should go down for a rest. Normally, this would be the time where I would say everybody would level up. But we usually don't level up until we're between sessions. So if you'll allow me, we'll keep going a little bit later. Unless, okay, I will say we can end it here. Only because we started late, which was Roll20's fault, not any of our faults. But I know some of you are on the East Coast and it's very, very late. So we can certainly end it here with you all resting and we can level up next time. Or if we want to keep going because we haven't technically gone the full 3 hours, we could do that as well. And I will just say we'll punt the long resting until next time still, and I think it'll be okay because we won't run into combat necessarily super soon.
I'm on board with what everybody else wants to do.
I can tough it out. It's my last day of school tomorrow.
Oh my God, you're still in school
tomorrow? What?
They go to like mid-June, or what is it? I guess it's early June.
I mean, it's my last day of school today, I should say.
Okay. All right, hallelujah.
I'm good.
God, my kid's been out for like 2 weeks.
Can I roll an insight check?
Insight check to make sure you're still okay. My kid literally just had like softball camp for his summer. Okay, if we're sure we're okay with going, I just want to make sure.
I can keep going.
All right, so we do have a little bit more I've got that I can prepare to do. So as I said, normally you all would level up, but we'll just kind of punt. You see the little level up arrow for Baldur's Gate 3, like you see that appear, but you haven't clicked the button yet to fully level up. So you all enjoy, but you can go ahead and get your long rest on. So all of you can go ahead and get the benefits of a long rest, which of course in D&D 2024 you heal absolutely everything as it should be. All well, actually, never mind. You didn't actually use a short rest hit dice, so that doesn't matter anyway. But you can all fully long rest, and the next morning you've got directions to go to the camp. So you all can set out, assuming there's no other business plans you need to attend to, but I'm just kind of montaging you a little bit in terms of, you wake up, you can eat. Becklin probably comes in at one point just to visit with Cudgel, but Cudgel's still like kind of drifting in and out of consciousness and still honestly sleeping through the whole experience, but she is still alive. And once again, Becklin kind of thanks you all. Darrett isn't with you for this. Instead, it's like all hands on deck for the village. A lot of people need supplies and healing, and the whole village is really coming together. Just like a disaster crisis kind of brings everybody out to the equivalent of like people wanting to donate blood or whatever they can do to help provide for people here. So Darrett is definitely on that duty. But Becklin does, obviously have you all send out on this mission to for the camp recon. Do you want that prisoner with you all, or do you just want to follow his map?
Just map, I think.
Okay.
I don't know, unless anyone wants him.
He is restrained.
To bring him, we gotta pay him, right?
It seems that way. Yeah, he basically Becklin can take him to the dungeon and add him to the others. So she will make sure, and that's kind of what she's basically doing right now. And she's also, there's like probably crowds forming like outside the keep, for example, wanting mob justice, and she's having to deal with that and play like the sheriff role basically.
I don't want to get attached to him if he's going to be killed by the mob.
Yeah. The path to High Hill is evilly traversed, which is, again, the site of the battle, though far more ominous than the day before. The road is stained with blood and discarded belongings. High Hill has attracted carrion birds now flying overhead, and the wind carries the fresh stench of death. Following the map, you all head north, and just like kind of that Mercenary said, pretty noticeable, easy tracks you start picking up from all the numerous mercenaries who had marched to the battle. And after some time has passed, a voice suddenly rings out and says, "Oi, stop right there. You lots got 24 arrows trained on your hearts. You best be talking fast and give me a good reason why I don't send you back in boxes." Nobody's talking fast.
Wait, we come in peace.
Who are you?
Korl.
Have we named our band? We haven't named our band.
Sidebar. Who are we?
Ella will start kind of like waving in the direction of the voice, and she'll say, we're friends of Cudgel, and we are here to inform you of a situation.
Those of you who are not speaking right now can make a perception check also, as Ellowyn says that. And Ellowyn and Korl were talking. Oops. High with 20. 30, 20. Pi and Cere, you can spot the speaker among the woods that you're in, and you can see that he's not actually carrying a bow, but he does have a bandolier of throwing knives, and he's got his hands on some of them. As you see this kind of cloaked figure. Ellowyn, as you say that, the voice barks out and says, "So where the fuck's Cudgel?"
He's kind of like...
She was attacked, and we saved her. She's resting in town now. Are you JL?
He finally emerges from the woods. A man dressed like a ranger or a scout with leather armor, cloak. He has a close cropped beard and a shaved head. And he features, I said, that bandolier of small throwing knives and a large curved blade by his side. He says, saved her. Is that... Do you know about what happened out there? That fucking hill of bodies. The fuck happened?
Reconnaissance happened. He turned on all of them.
He seems to mull this over for a moment and says, bloody hell. I knew he was an asshole, but this shit. And you know Cudgel, yeah? Something to do with that funeral she was at.
Yeah, that's why we are all there.
Bloody hell. That was most of the goddamn ironclad regiment out there. Percolating in the sun. Garnis got them all killed. And looks like killed half the goddamn village with it.
It was terrible. What are you doing here? Why weren't you with the rest of them?
Me and some lads were scouting around. Foraging mostly, but doing some scouting work, because I had suspected Dragonlance was up to some shifty shit. Caught him sneaking around camp.
If you suspected him, why didn't you follow him and stop him? Cudgel almost died.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was following on where he had come from. Best chance I had was when they all left to do their little play acting, or what I thought was a little play acting. Bastard
Said he
had
was
us-
with the dragon army. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, about that. And now he looks kind of strange. He says, yeah, it's best if I just show you.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
I'm checking to see if he is leading us into danger or if he's trying to show us something for our information.
Okay.
Interpret that 17 as you will.
17. Okay. Helpfully based on the information you got from the merc that your friends had interviewed, where you already learned he is a dick and certainly not a friendly person, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily against you or super hostile. You get the feeling that he is trying to show you something, and there's a chance it also is dangerous, and that he wouldn't. He still would mostly look out for himself if it was danger, but he is legitimately interested in sharing this information.
Okay. Cere's just going to say, I'm not sure, but y'all be careful. Watch your step. I'll be behind you. I'll just be a couple steps behind.
So he will kind of indicate which the same direction that you had heard that Dragonlance had snuck off to, which was towards the west, basically. And he indicates over here towards the west as you all start kind of walking a little bit of ways. And he does kind of fall in step with and glance at some of you and says, so... And he kind of sighs like he doesn't want to make small talk. How do you lot know Cudgel? She didn't speak much of her old life. Kept to business around us. Always liked that.
I've done some trading with her. I like to collect dwarven antiques.
Sounds fucking boring.
Well, that's just because you haven't spent time understanding how the dwarves work.
I watched her push Ispin's dead body out on a boat. That's how I know her.
She came to my town and did a show. Why am I talking like that?
It's infectious.
Pie's trying it out.
Yeah,
see what it
Early
see what it feels
stages. Early stages.
I had heard of that shield you got. That's the
It's
damn green shield, eh? You nicked that off the body, eh?
no, it was gifted to me.
From a dead
I
man.
earned it. His estate awarded it to me.
Not untrue. Oh.
It had to go to somebody, and I earned it.
Fair enough.
Let me tell you about this fish.
Biggest bloody fish you ever saw. Nobody's gonna believe you on that fish story until everybody else in the party can corroborate it. Yeah, fishing's all right.
How you know? How you know Cudgel?
Yeah, I was just a simple scout. Cudgel was looking to hire on for her group. I managed to bail her out of a hot situation. They were caught on a ridge with some goblins. I found a safe passage through some caves. She respected my work, and I respected hers. He shrugs. Pay was fine. Work was work. People were fine. Except for Dragonlance. He's a bloody idiot. Bloodlust. But he was the strongest one. So kind of ended up being a bit of a leader type, I guess. Never liked him. Frankly, not surprised
Well, good
he would
news.
sell us out.
He's dead now, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, you killed him, did you?
Like, kind of killed himself. Actually, he like just ran into this just wall of fighting and just. Did anybody else see that? Like he took like an arrow straight to the eye or something. It was weird. He was kind of a coward. He just ran away.
Not a great way to go.
Dragonlance was a lot of things, but a coward was not what I would have pegged him for.
Just random arrow to the eye. It's pretty unceremonious.
Sorry, I should have shared this earlier. I love it smoking a pipe in this picture. As you all make your way with Jayev's help, he is able to lead you on a path that is a bit winding through these woods that is not nearly as easy to follow as it was to find to get towards that the camp. There's nothing really yet until if some of you want to give me either perception or survival checks to kind of look around as Jayev is leading you all.
The one I'm good at.
A 0 is impressive on a skill check, I will say. Gosh. There are things she's very good at and things not so much. Okay, but gosh, Pi, you're a fucking ranger.
I know, that's why I did survival. I'm like,
miss me bad. On that.
Nat 1.
Yeah, Nat 1. The whole storyline here is he's gonna have to multi-class after this because all his animal handling and the survival, not so much. Cere. Or wait, where is Cere? Yeah, Cere.
Yeah, I did not roll.
Oh, that perception check is from another thing. Okay.
That was an inside check.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, Ellowyn. As you okay, I guess you're the one. Notices some tracks. You notice boot prints, and also what appears to be man-sized clawed reptilian feet. Prints, I should say. But like, boot prints and then just like claws that appear to be some like reptilian creature that's the size of a person. Which is not something you would be particularly familiar with.
So I was going to ask, it was Pi and Kazra that experienced the...
Yeah, and one more. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did any of that information get shared with us when we were all sitting around in the bar?
Kazra kind of went off on a tangent with it for a while. She said that she saw dragon people.
Which was probably like dismissed at the time or something, because that's definitely crazy talk.
I think if Ellowyn notices that, she would go over and kind of tap Kazra on the knee. Is this something that you saw? Is this kind of like where their feet like this? Like it looks weird, like with the claws. And is that it right there? And she's kind of like pointing down in the dirt at the footprints.
Kazra's going to kind of look at him, and she goes, "Well, when I saw him, I didn't get a great look at their feet. and they kind of had wings and they flew away. So she's gonna look down again. And do I have to make another check to see if I can like identify them as the same thing, or can?
Yeah, now that they've been pointed out, you could make a survival or an investigation check if it matters.
Let's try investigation this time. They're all a -1 anyway.
All right. Okay. With an 11, you do think back at the creatures that you had seen and think about their general size and shape, and maybe recall seeing some of those odd-shaped footprints scattered around that attack site that you had first seen before arriving at Vogler.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at them, these things look like really a lot like the footprints that I saw in the snow and stuff earlier with that cart that was all blah blah blah, crush, that stuff.
Did JF point these out to us? Like, does he know they're there, or?
You don't know. You could ask him. But he's not pointing them out. He's just focused on leading you all. Good.
I would probably, I would draw everybody's attention to them and see if anybody else wants to stop and look at them, at least.
What kind of beast is that from?
JF will say, I'm not bloody sure about that. I haven't seen anything like that in all my years of tracking. But it might have something to do with this. And he leads you all a few more minutes until the woods give way to a ledge overlooking a shallow valley. In the distance, dozens of low fires illuminate hundreds of red tents. Among them, patrols of shadowy, human-like figures. Over 1,000 soldiers seem to occupy this camp. JF just kind of stares at it and says, "An entire bloody army, right under our noses. And they were trying to get us to do their dirty work. This is what I think Dragonlance met with. He headed here, this direction, and came back with a bunch of gold. Now you tell me why the hell. First of all, who the hell is that? Why they need to be hiring us? What the fuck they're doing with that village? I don't know any of those answers. All I know is that's a big fucking problem."
How much gold?
Oh, bloody no. I haven't found the gold yet. All right? Yes, I was trying to spend some time looking for where he buried the damn gold in the camp.
Is that why you didn't go with him?
Roll an insight check. Nice, 21. He scowls and says, well, you can tell that he's definitely getting agitated about being confronted about this, and that he was definitely still wanting the money.
Yeah.
And he scowls at this, says, I didn't know about what the fuck he was planning. All right, which is true from your insight check.
Sure.
I didn't know he was planning on slaughtering a whole bunch of play-acting militia. I would have done no part of that, and I would have stopped him my bloody self. But I noticed he was gone. They were all gonna go after this reenactment, and I thought I'd nick the money from him and then confront him about it. And tell Cudgel about it. And no doubt, Cudgel would then split the money with me. But that's all besides the fucking point, isn't it?
Yeah, Cere, as he says that, Cere's looking out at the army, and she just says, "By Reorx's hammer, what are we supposed to do about this?"
And as JF is like kind of arguing, you confronted him and his voice was kind of carrying up. you all hear a conspicuously snapping branch that draws your attention to the trees behind you, and you see several hooded and armored figures hiding behind these trees, weapons drawn. When your eyes meet, they yell and charge. I think that is where we are going to end this session with another intro into a combat encounter. But as I mentioned, before next session, everybody should be leveled up to 3. And that happened during the long rest that you all had and the experience you had with that very first battle. So that is where we're going to end our episode number 2 of Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Thank you to Brandon, CT, Dory, Genocider, and Morgan for playing, and thank you to all the patrons for helping make these sessions happen. Shoutouts to Platinum patrons, Joe, Will, Thomas, Stan, Brennan, Genocider, Roleplayer Roll, Christopher, Big Nut, John, Nathan, Andrew, Stephanie, Jason, Lumpy Spuds, Warden, Eudaimonia LLC, Tom, They're Eating the Dogs, Marcus, Snuggy, Hugo, Jerry, Shay, Sasha, and John, and Gold patrons, RPG, Papercraft, Street Boy, and Yuma, Lizard Lounge, Jerome, Nathan, Fast Like a Tortoise, Scott, Refus, Jerry, Glenn, and Mark. Thank you all very much for your support. We will see you next time.
Thanks for the game.
Very cool.
Fun. Thank you. Bye bye.